and thank you so much for waking up with us right here on the PIX11 Morning News. I'm Vanessa Freeman.
And I'm Craig Treadway. Let's get the morning started with a look at your weather and your traffic on this crisp fall morning.
Yeah,
traffic anchor Alexa Farrell checking on the roads for you in just a moment while you have those car heaters blasting this morning.
Makes it feel better. Crisp.
Yeah.
Yes.
I turned off the AC finally. It was like comfortable sleeping weather. Woke up and felt, all right, we could do this. Okay. Taking a look, we do have some more concerns to talk about. One of them being a coastal flood advisory going into effect. This is 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. today. Highlighted areas that includes Monmouth as well as Ocean County. And we also have a statement. This is just like minor flooding possible during times of high tides. This is also during that same time frame. Southern Fairfield County as well as southern Nassau. We do have some freeze watches and warnings that'll go into place later on tonight, which we'll talk about. But I wanted to point your attention to temperatures. We're in the 40s and 50s. What a sharp contrast. We're going to take a look at temperature differences coming up later on, but I wanted to show you just how clean this map is. Our satellite and radar, dry. There's that departed system. It's well out to sea, but don't get too comfortable because we are tracking another coastal storm. High pressure for now is in control. Plenty of sunshine, a little bit cooler, but comfortable. We'll send it over to Alexa Farrell.
In headquarters, Democrat Mikey Sherrill and Republican Chick Ciattarelli faced off last night in the second New Jersey governor's debate. The latest polls, they show the race in a virtual tie. PIX11's Eileen LaPalmer has more from the New Brunswick Performing Arts Center. She's also a great reminder to get your fall boots.
Yeah.
'Tis the season, right?
Man, I saw a lot of people with jackets and even a few coats this morning.
Oh, yes, that is needed, and you're especially going to need it. Not just this morning, but tomorrow morning is even going to be colder. Some of the coldest temperatures, So far this season, I feel like a broken record. Coldest so far this season. Yeah, we haven't had temperatures like this in quite a minute. All right, so taking a look at rain totals, we had about a quarter of an inch just about Central Park, LaGuardia, a little over a tenth of an inch, almost 2/10 of an inch. Kennedy, I know this doesn't seem like much, but there were areas, especially north and west of the city, that even got more than this. Yesterday's highs came in low 70s. You may be wondering, like, it didn't feel like this during the day. That's because highs were met. This at around 1 a.m. So temperatures were on like a steady decline and settled in the 60s during the afternoon hours. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. So again, because that cold front came through, temperatures were dropping throughout the day. Abundant sunshine is expected in the wake of this system. Look at the beautiful picture outside. Of course, it's a live view. Frost and freeze. That's expected tonight into tomorrow. We're going to take a look at that. We're still watching that coastal storm that does have what appears to be some tropical characteristics or subtropical characteristics. I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes named, but like I'm getting ahead of myself. But we'll explain all of that and why it looks like it could be a mixture of, like, say, a nor'easter and like a subtropical system coming up. Futurecast. Okay, so we're clearing up plenty of sunshine, winds out of the north, temperatures in the 50s. This is what it looks like this afternoon around lunchtime. Upper 50s, low 60s, that's what we expect. So temperatures will struggle to even get to that 60-degree mark in the city. Check out what it's like tonight, though. 30s. Could you imagine? 45 in the city just before midnight, and then this is tomorrow morning. Newburgh below freezing. And that's why we do have freeze concerns, which we'll talk about as well. Wind gusts into the teens and the 20s. It'll start to relax tonight, finally getting into the single digits for tomorrow. Here's a look ahead because we're tracking the system. Now it looks like, you remember the timing has been tweaking all week? Well, now it looks like later in the day, Sunday into Monday. That's what we anticipate. Rain will be heavy at times. It's going to be a wind-driven storm, especially if you're eastern Long Island near the coast. Winds out of the northeast. So this looks like a classic nor'easter setup, but we'll go over this in greater detail because there could be some damaging winds associated with this, along with the potential for flooding. Peak winds near 60 miles per hour, especially eastern end. And then here a look at totals, 1 to 2 inches, locally higher amounts expected. Here it is, your 7-day forecast. More on that coming up. We'll send it over to Alexa.
All right, Stacy-Ann, thank you so much. Yeah, so you might have to crank the heat today in the car if you're traveling in front of LaGuardia. Here, the Grand Central Parkway.
Chill in the air. If you think today is a little chilly, tomorrow will even be chillier. There's a cold front that came through. High pressure is in control, so we are dry. And because of where it's centered, it is pulling chillier air from the north. So that's what we have on top of us. It'll be a struggle to get to 60 degrees. Right now, believe it or not, we're in the 50s. Bating Hollow. Oh, my goodness. All right. Massapequa, Brookhaven, 49 degrees. Caldwell, 54, New York City. temperatures may go down a little bit before it goes right back up. Look at the 24-hour temperature change, 20-degree difference in Poughkeepsie, 18 White Plains, 15. Big drop off in New York City, so you definitely need the extra layers. We're going to talk about what's ahead. Oh my gosh, I think I'm hungry myself. We're going to send it over to Alexa Farrell. I'm drooling. Back to you.
PIX11 traffic report.
Cover some of the Jersey locations from Morris, Somerset, Hunterdon counties, and even far beyond in toward like Mercer or even Burlington, perhaps. Freeze warning for the highlighted purple shaded areas. So growing season pretty much coming to an end in these locations. Hopefully you brought in those sensitive plants or at least covered them up to make sure that they're safe and good to go. And watch for those pipes too, because you don't want frozen pipes that could burst. Okay, high pressure is in control. For the time being, there is that coastal system. This is all going to be dependent upon the jet stream, which we'll talk about, but it looks like the timing on this is late afternoon, evening, Sunday into Monday. So I'm watching in particular from Monday morning's commute. Timing, intensity could change. There's a setup of the jet stream. We'll have that trough, that big dip, and it's going to allow for this low pressure to continue to evolve. And this is what I'm talking about, that it's more of like that hybrid storm that has some subtropical characteristics in addition to it kind of being set up as a nor'easter. There's your 7-day forecast. More on that coming up. We'll send it over to Alexa.
So much. So this morning, taking a look here at the FDR Drive, construction has cleared it.
Home.com.
All right, love us some Mary.
Oh, yeah.
All right, 5:17 on this Thursday. Let's get a check of our weather and traffic.
Alexa Farrell checking on the roads for you in just a moment. But first, meteorologist Stacy-Ann Gooden.
All right, guys, thank you so much. It is a chilly start to the day, and this is just a preview of what's to come because tomorrow it's even colder. All right, frost and freeze conditions are expected tonight into tomorrow. We also have some coastal concerns that we talked about a little bit, but we do have plenty of sunshine to go around for everybody today. It's just not going to warm us up too much. Temperatures mainly in the 40s right through 10 a.m. You can see the timeline there, 54 New York City. And then it does go up a little bit, upper 50s, low 60s. It'll be a struggle to get to 60 degrees. We may get that across parts of the tri-state, but I think most areas will stay in that 50-degree range. Gusts. Now, right now, winds are still picking up. That's following that cold front that came through, but those winds will relax throughout the day. It'll take a minute, but we'll get down into the single digits. Ice slip 5 miles per hour. This is by 9 p.m., so something to finally be able to breathe a sigh of relief. But then the anxiety creeps in again because we do have this system that's going to be brewing. This is kind of like a nor'easter setup here because of where it kind of gets going, just off the coast of the mid-Atlantic or southeast, and it's just going to ride up the eastern seaboard from there. So moving up north by around 3-4 o'clock Sunday, you could start to get those showers creeping in. Look at the winds out of the northeast. And of course, because water temperatures are so warm and then it's interacting with like a frontal boundary in the jet stream, that's why I'm looking at this as sort of like the potential for like a subtropical kind of mix of the two. So heavy downpours are expected. We're looking at some coastal concerns as well because look at the direction of the wind. So I can imagine water just piling on shore in some spots, especially north shore of Long Island and coast on average in terms of rainfall. Locally higher amounts. We could get up to a few inches in some spots, and it's much needed rain, by the way. We're also tracking Jerry. It's swirling out there just east of the Antilles and moving west-northwest at around a few miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds, by the way, 65. So it is on the cusp of being a hurricane. There's your school day forecast. We're going to leave it with our 7-day forecast.
All right, Stacy-Ann, thank you so much. Grab that warm cup as you head out the door today, or you may need the heat in the car this morning. As you're traveling across the Queensboro Bridge, though, no traffic trouble.
She always loved her daughter and never forgot about her, and she can't believe this meeting has finally happened.
Such a beautiful story. Thank you, Grace Gomez, for that report.
5:49 here. Let's take a look outside on this Thursday. Check our weather and traffic.
Alexa Farrell has more on the commute this morning, and meteorologist Stacy-Ann Gooden has your first feel of fall.
Yes.
Pretty much.
The fall feel has arrived after like 4 consecutive days of 80-degree temperature readings at Central Park. And with that came some rain ahead of the cool down, as you can see here. Glenwood, Hackettstown, Whippany, Montville, Seaside Heights, Brick. So if you're in New Jersey, as you mentioned, north and west of the city, got a little bit more in terms of rainfall. And here we go. Yes, as you can see there, from 4th to the 7th, we had 4 consecutive days of 80-degree temperature readings, only 2 days below average. So we are up at a surplus by almost 7 degrees. We're at a deficit still in the rain category. Satellite and radar, quiet conditions, so nothing to worry about. No umbrella needed for the time being. Cold front, you can make out the lining of the clouds. It's indicative of that. High pressure in control. Now we have winds subsiding throughout the day. Make out the contouring in the backdrop there, 40s and 50s, so a little bit cooler, as you can see, in blue, a little bit warmer in green. And afternoon highs, upper 50s, low 60s. It'll be a little bit of a struggle to get to 60, but we have a good chance of that. Winds, of course, subsiding throughout, even into the overnight hours, 30s and 40s, and with the winds becoming a bit more still, a greater chance for frost to develop. We also have freeze concerns. That's something that we've been tracking. Frost advisory for the highlighted areas that now includes parts of New Jersey in addition to the Hudson Valley. Hopefully you either harvested, covered up those sensitive plants, or at least brought them inside. And also be careful with the pipes. They could possibly burst with the freeze conditions, especially across much of the Hudson Valley. Only Southwest Chester not included. Everywhere else, yeah, and that includes Fairfield County under freeze warning from midnight to 9. Sussex, Passaic as well. Looking ahead, high pressure centered right above us, and then we're eventually going to see it retreat north and give way to this system. And the way it's coming up the mid-Atlantic, guys, I'm telling you, a whole lot of rain. Fairly short amount of time. There could be some flash flood concerns. Now, the reason why we talk about it being possibly a hybrid system, don't forget, water temperatures, especially in the mid-Atlantic, still in the 80s. A little bit cooler in our neck of the woods, but that combined with the positioning, how it's interacting with the jet stream, that makes it possible quasi or subtropical influence. Coastal flooding, beach erosion, heavy rain, damaging winds, travel disruptions, all on the table. Something that we're going to be tracking for the rest of the week into the weekend. So Sunday and Monday are the days. We'll have more on that coming up. We'll send it over to Alexa.
You're Alexander Hamilton.
6. Today is Thursday, October 9th. I'm Craig Treadway.
Good morning. I'm Vanessa Freeman, and you are never more than 10 minutes away from a check of your weather and your traffic. Alexa Farrell watching the commute for us. And meteorologist Stacy-Ann Gooden has our forecast. Good morning.
Good morning. And it's a good morning. I mean, following yesterday's a little, wet start, now things have dried out and cooled down and will continue to cool down throughout the day. The winds will also be relaxing as well, but hold on tight because we're tracking a coastal storm. We'll have more on that as well. Temperatures this afternoon, Bushwick, Park Slope, Seagate, Midwood, upper 50s, low 60s, and plenty of sunshine. It's going to be gorgeous, guys. Go out and make it a nice fall day. Grab something warm or cool, whatever makes you comfortable. Overnight, the chill will be on. So, yeah, will you need the heat? Some areas just may, because, I mean, this is not even the coldest that I'm seeing, by the way. Here's a look at your 3-day forecast. It's going to be another chilly start come tomorrow with freeze conditions and also frost concerns. We're going to talk about that. It's a nice
Leaving and who is taking his place?
But first, a check of it.
All right, guys, get ready for a pretty cool day. Finally feeling like fall.
Meteorologist Stacy-Ann Gooden has our fall feeling forecast.
Yes, feeling like fall for sure. Definitely want to grab the extra layer. These were yesterday's highs. Just wanted to point that out to you. It happened during the overnight hours. Temperatures, as a result, falling throughout the day. Thanks to that cold front that brought in all that rain. So we got plenty of sunshine, frost freeze conditions for tonight. Also, we're tracking coastal concerns as well. But right now, our main thing are cool temperatures. Really struggling to get to 60. We could get there across the city. Some areas may not. I mean, north and west of the city will be a little cooler. And then for the overnight, forget about it. Even later on this evening, 46 Newburgh, 48 Somers, 54 in New York City, 46 Islip. And then as we head into the morning hours, some areas will even fall below that freezing mark. Hence the reason why we are tracking the potential for a frost advisory. Well, we'll have a frost advisory, but there may maybe some frost to have to contend with, in addition to a freeze warning across much of the area, which pretty much officially ends growing season. All right, gusts into the teens and 20s, and then it'll start to relax later on tonight, so looking much better, feeling much better. But the feels, it's not going to feel so good this weekend. Saturday looks great, but increasing clouds giving way to this coastal system that we're tracking. Right now, it looks like a nor'easter. We have winds out of the northeast, where its position, where it develops, is just off the east coast. It looks like anywhere between the southeast and the mid-Atlantic, and then it comes up north. So right at around 4:30, it starts to get underway, more coverage, more widespread as we head into Sunday night. So figure Monday morning's commute, forget about it, going to be dicey. Look at the wind direction. All this water will be piling on. So there may be some coastal flood advisories. There may even be a flash flood watch warning, something. So what we're going to be tracking. And look at that. Based on what we're seeing, really does hug the coast there at around noon on Monday. So it does look like it comes a little bit further inland. This will have some tropical characteristics as we see right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes a named storm. I mean, it's really early, but it's something that we're going to watch because technically we're still in hurricane season. These are peak wind gusts, 1 to 2 inches, locally higher amounts. There's a look at your school day forecast, and we're going to...
And in case you want to get a drink for someone having a birthday.
Having a birthday, yes, we need a special forecast today because a special lady, my mother-in-law, it's her birthday today. So happy birthday, Umi.
Birthday.
So we need that perfect fall forecast. Yeah.
Is she a fall girl?
She's a fall girl.
Are you doing anything special, or am I putting you on the spot?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
We're having a rave at the house. We're going to be dancing on the tabletops.
She would love that.
You're going to make peach cobbler, apple crumb, espresso,
Yeah, I will get her a
cappuccinos?
special treat.
Let me tell you, Vanessa's going to get her, she's going to get her Meghan Markle on.
Yeah.
And she's going to jazz it up and make some treats and crafts to go along with it.
Birthday cake from scratch.
She's a good party. Well,
I try. We try. We try.
Yes,
But
always a good time. Yes, we're working on the fall-like weather for Umi, of course. So you can make sure she wears a sweater, jacket, or something.
I'll call her now.
Clouds will part ways soon enough. It'll give way to some sunshine later on today. Plenty of sunshine to go along for everybody. Here it is. We had that rain come through the area, much needed. Wasn't enough to bridge that gap, though. We have some more on the way. We're tracking a coastal storm. It looks like a nor'easter that could really provide us with some impacts over the second half of the weekend into early next week. But in the meantime, temperatures in the 40s and 50s, a little bit more Nassau, Suffolk County, Long Island, and a good part of New Jersey. Looking ahead, high pressure and control. There's that coastal system that we're talking about. It looks like it's a classic nor'easter setup. And look how closely or tightly packed those lines are. The pressure gradient is everything. Whenever you have two systems, in this case, high pressure, low pressure, like kind of, duking it out, it produces stiff winds. So in addition to a whole lot of rain, we could be talking about gusty winds, and it looks like a setup that could be somewhat subtropical. And I say this because, okay, so there may be some jet stream influence, some frontal boundary influence, which is kind of like what we refer to as baroclinic, but it also looks to be some sort of like a warm core storm. Just keep in mind, with a lot of tropical storms, you got the warm waters, and that's what we anticipate. So we'll see how everything pans out. This is what to expect. It's going to be a doozy no matter how we categorize the system.
Meanwhile, a judge has now tossed out a summons given to a TV writer involved in a train seating dispute.
So you may remember the case of Alex O'Keefe. He was a former writer for the show The Bear. He was detained last month accused of disorderly conduct. He was like this. Well, a law banning transgender women from playing on female sports teams at Nassau County-run parks and facilities is now paused.
That decision coming from a state appeals court. It bars Nassau.
It was giving me jack-o'-lantern vibes in the sun, gorgeous. Yeah, a lot of that. Yes, it definitely does feel like fall. And I would say, head to the pumpkin patch. I mean, you could do that Saturday, not Sunday, though. We'll talk all about it. Here is what's happening if you're in Forest Hills, Astoria, Jackson Heights, Ozone Park. We are in the open. Because the winds will be so still, the sky will be clearing out. It's going to allow for what we refer to as radiational cooling, which means it allows those temperatures to dip even faster and a little bit cooler. So skipping ahead to next week. week, or rather this weekend into next week. We got showers developing as early as around the 3-4 o'clock hour, beginning from points south to north. This is that coastal storm that we've been talking about, and it looks like a typical nor'easter setup with winds out of the northeast, and it does look like it'll develop somewhere along the southeast mid-Atlantic coast and ride up from there, bringing us a whole lot of rain, gusty winds, and look at the wind direction. We'll have onshore winds piling on that water. It looks like most of it will be mid-Atlantic, but of course, if you're in New Jersey, particularly Monmouth County, even Ocean County, we could be looking at some damage too, with flooding and the potential for really strong winds as well. Look at the center of circulation hugging the coast there, right near Ocean County. We'll see if this does develop any further into anything tropical or subtropical. Water temperatures are really warm, hence the reason why. And then you have things like the storm system interacting with the jet stream. So we have kind of like a hybrid situation going on. Winds gusting into the 30s, 40s, near 50, even 60 miles per hour, especially near the coast, of stronger wind gusts. Rainfall amount, 1 to 2 inches, locally higher amounts. Either way, just plan on it being a very, speaking of tropical characteristics, there is Jerry moving west-northwest at 20 miles per hour. Max sustained wind 65, could become a Cat 1 at some point, staying offshore, but still an issue for a lot of folks. Your school day forecast, and now we're going to leave you with our 7-day forecast. Make it a good one. We'll send it over to Alexa.
47 right now. Let's turn to traffic and weather. Oh, rain. Yuck.
Yes, yuck is right. Forget any outdoor plans on Sunday. Forget about it. Saturday, if you still have any pumpkin picking or any other fall activities you want to do it on Saturday, because Sunday not looking so great. We're at a deficit as far as rainfall, despite the rain that we had yesterday, close to around 1/4 of an inch at Central Park. Speaking of Central Park, for the year, we've only gotten 30.29 inches of rain. I know it seems like a lot, but it really isn't. We're at an 8-inch deficit. So we are either moderately or abnormally dry, or we have that moderate flood, or rather drought situation that we are dealing with. So I said flood because I think that's what's on my mind right now, because we're tracking that coastal storm. High pressure in control right now, temperatures in the upper 30s, low 40s, even some 50s mixed in. By this afternoon, we'll be close to around 60, plenty of sunshine, so it will feel nice and crisp. It's going to be comfortable for you to even go for a walk. I know a lot of folks are gearing up for the marathon place at some point. Now that dip in the jet stream, we refer to that as a trough. That does allow for the system to really strengthen offshore. So something that we're going to watch. May have some subtropical characteristics as well. Coastal flooding, beach erosion, heavy rain, damaging winds, travel disruptions. Here's a look now at your 7-day forecast. So the weekend in view, the first half looks good. The second half is a wetter half with rain and wind to boot, and that's going to be an issue for a lot of people. So definitely factor that in, but all is well. Otherwise, we'll send it over to Alexa Farrell.
I am ready.
Are you ready for it?
Cuddle up season, all right? What's the phrase?
Cuffing?
Sweater weather.
What is it called?
Cuffing season?
Cuffing season, thank
yes.
you. Yes, also sweater weather.
That too.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Cuffing season is here.
Absolutely. You want to cuddle up? Yeah, because it is cuffing season. And in addition to that, grab something warm and just kind of, nuzzle up. Even with your, furry friend, you could do that too. It's always a fun time. All right, coastal concerns. We have 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Coastal stay in the upper 50s, low 60s throughout your day. We'll struggle to get to 60 degrees, but it looks like we got a good shot. Plenty of sunshine, high pressure in control, and